Good morning. I'm Rebecca Wallace. I'm a student at GCU, and I am pursuing my master's degree in autism spectrum disorders. And I'm here to talk to you about the professional disposition a teacher should possess, and what ones I feel like I'm great at, and what ones I could use some improving on. The first one is high expectations. I feel like I do a great job of this. If a teacher doesn't believe a student can learn, why would the student believe in themselves? Knowing each student on a very personal level and routinely assessing where they're at allows me to adjust their instruction appropriately to really challenge them without frustrating them. And that's super important because if I don't believe they can learn, they won't. And seeing their eyes light up that first time they get a new concept is so wonderful. It's the whole reason anyone should teach. The second one is respecting diversity of others. I feel like I do a pretty good job of this as well. I have a cross-categorical special education room, and each child is very diverse in their ability level, and it's really important for each child to feel valued and accepted and feel safe enough to talk to me about anything. And I feel like we have that kind of classroom, and I've focused really hard on getting the other students to focus on the individual and not the disability. Number 3, fairness. I think that sometimes educators disagree on the definition of fairness. I think in the past it has been that fairness means that you treat everyone exactly the same. But when you have special needs learners, fairness is not about treating every child the same. It's about recognizing what each child needs to be successful and then providing them with those tools to be successful. So I think I could do a great job of doing that. Number 4, professional conduct. I think it's really about just showing up every day, having a good attitude, be happy to be there, and being willing to participate in the community of your school. Are you taking tickets? Are you attending the course concert? Are you supporting your students and your other educators? Because it's important, and you would want that for you. The next one is about reflection. I'm improving in this area. Last year, this was very difficult for me. Seeking advice from my colleagues, I was afraid could be seen as, well, she just doesn't know what to do. She's needs a lot of help. She's not an independent thinker. But as I become more confident in my teaching abilities and I watch my students grow, I know that seeking advice from my colleagues really just lets them know that I'm doing absolutely everything I can to serve the needs of the student. And that's really important. And taking professional opportunities to go observe how other programs are run are very important. And it's not that you don't know what you're doing, but it's about seeing what else could work and how much better it could be. Curiosity is the next disposition I want to talk to you about. And my students, I encourage curiosity by taking them out into the community to practice real-world skills. There's no better way to practice money than by going to the gas station and letting them buy a snack. We go to individual employers in the area and we take a tour and talk about the different job roles and the requirements, and then children start to get interested in, what could they do? And I think that's really important. And then within the classroom setting, I talk about what interests you, what is something it would be really important for you to learn this year, and they really like having that input, and generally there's ways to build that into your curriculum. And myself, for curiosity, I attend a lot of seminars and conferences to keep learning, see new ways of doing things. Best practice is always important. What new things have been researched and have found to be successful. It's always important to keep learning those things and keep your interest level going, because I think it's when you settle into that spot of, oh, I know what I'm doing, and is when you can really not be giving your students the best. Honesty. If you tell a student you're going to do something, do it. And if a problem arises that you can't, tell them as each situation arises. Students can spot insincerity a mile away. So I just let them know what's going on as quickly as I can. Compassion. I hope that all teachers just naturally possess this. I think that they do. Compassion is just genuinely knowing your students and their families and their struggles and successes, and just demonstrate you care by asking about their lives. It's as simple as that. Advocacy. In a special education program, advocacy is so important. For me, that means going to administration if a student needs a different piece of adaptive equipment, if I feel like their needs are not being met, if we need to call a new IEP meeting, as problem solving things as they arise and not letting problems build up. It's having local agencies come in and talk to students and parents about available services. It's just really doing whatever you can do to meet the need of your students. It's open communication between the speech and physical and occupational therapists and all the other educators that work with your student, so that you know that at the end of the day, you have addressed the situation from every angle that you can to improve your students' learning. Dedication. It's just about being there every day. Be there on time, be there with a good attitude, be ready to serve, be happy to see your students. With all the changes in education right now in regards to remote learning, this one has been a little bit of a struggle this year since we've had to make that switch. I'm not as technology savvy as I could be. I feel not as effective as I could be when I'm not one-on-one with my students. So this one has been a real struggle because sometimes I have felt like I'm creating busy work for the sake of busy work. But as we go along and I'm starting to do Zoom conferences and do individual lessons with students, and I'm talking to parents about where they feel their student is at and what I could do to assist them more, it's becoming easier. This is a difficult time in education, and we all just have to roll with it because what we're doing is keeping our students safe and healthy, and that's the most important thing. But it has been a bit of a struggle this year. So overall, I think I have the two areas that I'm working on, and but now I think that most of the educators I work with possess these things, and it's a wonderful world to work in. And if you are looking at education, I hope you consider all these things too. Have a great day.